So you're thinking of moving to Maricopa, Arizona? Well, in this video, I'm going to take you through Rancho El Dorado, which is the original master plan community here in Maricopa. And a lot of people consider it to still kind of be the best community here. We're going to look at some of the reasons why and also some of the trade-offs that you might find in Rancho El Dorado. If you stick around until the end, I'm going to take you to the most expensive currently listed home, and you're not going to want to miss that. So let's get things going right now. If this is your first time to the channel and you want to know everything there is to know about eating, sleeping, living, and moving to Maricopa, then make sure to hit the subscribe button, and also don't forget that bell icon so that you can get notified every time I drop a new video. My name is Mike Millett, and I get questions, calls, texts, emails from people all the time, people just like you who want to know more about Maricopa and the surrounding area. So if you are planning a move to the area in the next 9 days or 9 months or whatever your time frame is, I would love to help you make this the smoothest move possible.
So Rancho El Dorado is one of two communities that are, near the main entrance in and out of town. The other one is Cobblestone Farms over here. But that means you get to bypass a lot of the traffic that kind of gets crowded up over here, especially construction traffic, as they make the roads just more friendly for more people. It makes it a lot worse in the meantime. That's an unfortunate trade-off. But Rancho El Dorado has this entryway here that can take you, that can get you to the 347 a lot more efficiently. And of course, Phoenix metro area is to the north along the 347. Shopping is to the south. Down here in town, there's a lot of the shopping's there, a lot of the shopping's down there, with a lot more coming, of course. And Rancho El Dorado was actually built, back in 2002, 2003 as the first community in Maricopa. At the time, there were no grocery stores in Maricopa. So if you wanted to or needed to go grocery shopping, because, people do, you would have to drive up to the Tempe, Mesa, Chandler area. So there are two elementary schools integrated into the neighborhood: Santa Rosa Elementary School and Pima Butte Elementary School. There's also A+ Charter School. They have a location down here. And the golf course is kind of integrated throughout as well. The community is built around it. So that's the Duke. And then the Ak-Chin Southern Dunes Golf Club is also pretty close. That's just a few miles to the west. But in Maricopa itself, this is the only golf course. There are some more expensive homes than the ones that we're looking at today, including a couple that look pretty phenomenal, but they're currently occupied by the owners, and we don't want to disturb them, so we're just going to be looking at the vacant ones, limiting ourselves to the vacant options.
All right, so Rancho El Dorado has some big pros and cons to it, at least relative to the rest of Maricopa. In my opinion, it's far and away one of the better places in the Phoenix metro area to buy a home. Chief among those is because it's affordable, very low prices compared to most of the homes in the Metro Phoenix area. And the homes are also a lot newer. The oldest that you see is 2002, once in a while, 2003 in most cases, but a lot of the homes are built in 2010 or later. And there are a lot of new builds happening right now as well. So with that said, Rancho El Dorado is not one of the newer communities. It was, like I already mentioned, the first master plan community in Maricopa. So it is on the older side. So if you want a brand new home, Rancho El Dorado is not the right community, but they're still pretty new relative to other things. A lot of them have been fixed up really nicely, but Rancho El Dorado is really coveted in Maricopa. Not with any sort of elite classism or anything, but just, I think more than anything, it's proximity to the entryway for Maricopa. So if you're commuting to Phoenix metro area, Tempe, Mesa, Chandler, any of those places, then this is going to be, kind of the optimal setup, quicker in and out of town for sure. They're doing a number of renovations to the streets, the kind of intersections that come in and out of Maricopa. So you're kind of faced with that as you leave your community. And especially when those areas get clogged, then people that are trying to come in and out of Maricopa will often use these roads through Rancho El Dorado. Luckily, they don't go directly through neighborhoods where homes are. As you can probably see, there's cars going through here right now. Nope, right this moment there are none at all. I do have noise canceling turned on, so I don't know if you can hear them either. Because these cars and these roads going through here, even though it's not directly in neighborhoods, you can see there's homes right there. So those homes are going to be hearing cars driving by here all the time. And so it's at least going to affect some people. Rancho El Dorado does also have the Duke, which is Maricopa's only golf course. There is, I think there's one right outside on the kind of northeast, but that's technically on reservation land. But you don't necessarily get benefits, you know, golf membership benefits for being a resident of Rancho El Dorado, but it's here anyway. You can see some of the courses as you drive through the neighborhood as well. This spot here that I'm walking by is actually a wash. So this is kind of a downside to Rancho El Dorado. We're obviously a very dry climate here, but when we do get rain, it does sometimes come in, you know, torrents, and the ground isn't ready to absorb it. So it becomes a flooded area. That can affect this pathway here because the water does run right over the road when it gets really bad. And so you have to find other ways to get around. So it is something you have to kind of plan ahead and be aware of. We have taken some steps to mitigate how bad it affects everything, but it's still there. People do tend to bicker a little bit about it. And if you move to Rancho El Dorado, then you will probably bicker about it some too. It's just the way it is. But Maricopa is a great community. Rancho El Dorado is a great community. We have a number of friends that live here, and we're pretty close to it ourselves. All right, so the homes that we're gonna look at today, they're all in about a square mile, actually a little bit more than that, but Rancho El Dorado is about that size. Now there are other communities in Maricopa that call themselves Rancho El Dorado. For example, the villages at Rancho El Dorado, the lakes at Rancho El Dorado, they all kind of try to piggyback on the name, but there's only one true Rancho El Dorado, and we're gonna look at those homes today. We're looking at three, one at the high end, one at the mid end, and one at the low end, all vacant homes. So that does kind of narrow things down a little bit as far as what our options are, but it is just to give you a sample of what kind of homes are in Rancho El Dorado. We may not get lucky with something super upgraded or updated. It's just gonna be what it is. But know that if we don't, there are homes here that are in great shape, that are really well taken care of. I'm not gonna go over a lot of detail. I'm not gonna be super thorough. I'm gonna be really quick with these home tours. I just wanna give you a brief overview of what it's like. So if you want more detail, I do have some of that in some of my other videos, or reach out to me and I can, you know, obviously take you through homes either through video or in person. I will not try to sugarcoat things for these homes today. You know, I like to be honest about how things are. After all, I am not trying to sell you homes at any point in time. I am trying to help you do something that you want to do. So I think it's important to be honest. The thing that I am trying to sell you on is that I want you to work with me. So let's head over to the first home and let's see what the roll of the dice has given us today. By the way, for those of you not familiar with Arizona's climate, it is the middle of December right now, and I'm very comfortable outside in jeans and a t-shirt. It does get like a little below 30 a few times every winter, or most winters that I know of. But it's really, really nice in the wintertime. So this is the place to be. All right, so here we are at our first home for today. Remember, I'm not gonna be going super thorough with these homes. So if you're wanting to know all the details, I'm not necessarily gonna point them all out. I'm gonna be rushing through because I'm trying to, you know, cover a lot of ground quickly for you. But let's check it out. This home is a 3-bed, 2-bath, 1,150 square feet. You didn't see me almost fall there, right? And built in 2002, so it is just a tad older than the other homes that we're gonna be looking at today. Let's head inside and check it out, see what we find. Incidentally, even though this is the smallest home by far today, it's also the cheapest and had a lot more showings happening today than the other homes did, okay? People do tend to see Maricopa as an entry point community. So homes like this do have a lot of demand for them. Okay. And at an asking price of, let's see, what was it? $280,000. Yeah, it's a lot lower barrier to entry than a lot of places might be. Okay, 2-car garage. All right, so primary bedroom. I mean, hey, like almost every home I've ever seen in Maricopa, it's big enough for a king-size bed. All right, got a walk-in closet. Big garden tub. Not a lot of lighting in here. And it does feel a little bit dark, but then, you know, the floor being this chocolate brown wood kind of exacerbates that. Got a little disoriented. Where am I? What part did I already look at? Okay. So we've got, you know, closet, fairly small bedroom. But you know, this is a great starter home. So things are kind of small, things are a little bit narrow, but it is, you know, one of the oldest homes in Maricopa, and it is what you could consider a starter home. This would be a great place to get established, start developing some equity so that you can upgrade to a bigger home. And there are some great features about it. Like, look at the size of this yard. You know, that's great. That's huge for this price point. So this home is not huge, but it's a lot more affordable and a lot bigger than a lot of apartment situations would be. So still worth considering, still worth looking at. There's a reason that there's demand for a home like this. All right, let's go check out number 2. All right, here we are on the second house. This one is mid-range price. They're asking $349 on it. They are willing to make some concessions, you know, $7,000 here and there, but and there are some upgrades as well. This is actually the exact same, well, maybe not the exact same, but this is the same floor plan that we bought. So this is similar to our house. There's some changes, but we're of course gonna go through very quickly again. So, because it's just about, you know, giving you an idea for what your money could buy in Rancho El Dorado. Okay. All right, so this home is a 4-bed, 2.5 bath. It's just under 2,200 square feet, built by D.R. Horton. They have built this floor plan in a number of communities here in Maricopa with some variations. Mine is built in 2012, so there's some changes to it versus this 2003 one. But I also don't have vaulted ceilings, which I'm jealous of, at least in the upstairs. Got a nice view of the cul-de-sac there, like that. The washer dryer upstairs is nice. And then we've got a view right there. Yeah, so that's all Indian reservation back there. It'll probably never be developed. Yeah, just clear views. Can sometimes see wild horses back there too, which is a nice treat. And the backyard, pretty unfinished, lots of potential to do whatever you want with it. And all of this for the low, low price of $349,000. All right, let's go check out the last house. All right, last but not least, we have this home that is asking $475,000, just under 3,000 square feet. It's also a 4-bed, 2.5 bath. It's 800 square feet bigger than the last one, so let's check it out. This one's also built in 2003, by the way. Okay. So these are not old homes by any stretch, but the last couple have been a little outdated, you know? If you are looking for a home that's fully updated, there are definitely plenty of those. It's just kind of a little bit of a roll of the dice, a little bit of luck, since I was going for the most expensive house currently listed, and this happens to be it. In Rancho El Dorado, I should say. Okay. But that's also kind of reflective of how it goes showing homes in real life a lot of the times. Because you'll pick something in your price range, you'll find something that has, you know, nice pictures, something you're looking forward to. And sometimes, not always, but sometimes you get up there and get to the home in person and you see how good they did with the photographs. With that said, you know, it's only a 2003. It's not very old compared to most of the homes in the US, for sure, and also just compared to a lot of homes in like the Phoenix metro area. 2003 is about the oldest that they get in Maricopa, with very few exceptions. Yeah, like if you're okay with some of it being slightly dated, and if you're okay with you know, either living with that or doing renovations, there's so much to offer here. Look at those views. Yeah. Come Christmas time, or you know, whatever respective holidays you do or don't celebrate, there's a lot going there. You know, kids coming down, or you coming down to see what someone got for you. And then I feel like half of the 800 additional square feet went into this room right here. The primary bedroom's massive for this price point. Obviously, we've seen bigger, but in $800,000 homes and million-plus homes. I didn't even bother turning on most of the lights in this house because it's so well lit with, you know, windows everywhere. A little bit of arched right there as well. I think that's the only room where the ceilings are high, other than, you know, obviously this is a high ceiling right there. All right, let's go check out the backyard really quick. There's the crushed granite ground, which is very, very common here in Arizona and in Maricopa in particular. And there's this pool. It is Pebble Tech-like surface texture. I don't know that it's Pebble Tech brand, but there's a little bit of, you can see some cracking down there. Don't know if the water feature works, but at any rate, it's a pool. And there's 2 large AC units as well. So come summertime, the electric bill might be a little painful at this house, since summertime electric bills are a much bigger deal than the wintertime here. All right, that is it for this video. I hope that it was helpful, you know, kind of getting to know Rancho El Dorado a little bit. I am going to be focusing on other neighborhoods, kind of doing a little series on other communities, just so you can kind of get to know Maricopa a little bit better. If you haven't already, please make sure to like, subscribe, you know, bell icon, all those fun things. And I will be putting out plenty more videos about Maricopa and surrounding areas as well, including Casa Grande, Mesa, Chandler, Tempe, Gilbert, Phoenix, you know, kind of just a lot of the places that I serve. And I hope you can look forward to some of my other videos in the future, and I will talk to you soon. Thank you so much.